What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, it's Ben. Thank you so much for checking out my channel again. Truly appreciate it. And in today's video, the title does not lie. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can start your own recruiting agency with no experience. Alright, so in case you completely lost your mind or you just started following me today, I started my own recruiting agency with zip, nada, zero, nothing, no experience whatsoever in the recruiting space at all. That means that I never worked for a recruiting agency, I never did cold emails, I never did resume reviews, I never interviewed anybody, I never read job descriptions, I am not an expert on job ads, basically had nothing to do with recruiting whatsoever prior to starting my agency. So fast forward about 2 years and some change, and here I am on my own, running my own solo six-figure recruiting agency by myself, and the question is, how do you do that? So it has been said that 99% of people who started with no experience at all got started by smashing that like button, by literally just pushing that thumbs up button. That's how they got started. That was so cheesy, but no, I'd really appreciate it if you would smash the like button on this video. Alright, no, in all seriousness, there is no one single pathway to getting to a point where you run your own recruiting agency. It's not like becoming a doctor where you get your prereqs done, you go to medical school, then you do a residency somewhere, and then all of a sudden you become a doctor and you go practice doing whatever you want to do. It's not like that. So there's no, set rule book or anything that you need to do in particular to get to a point where you're running your own recruiting agency. And that's really, really important for you to remember. Contrary to popular belief, you absolutely 100% do not need to go work at a recruiting agency or firm in order to go start your own recruiting agency or firm. Number one, I'm living proof of this. Number two, I talk to countless recruiters that do work at agencies or firms or corporations that tell me that they're just a cog in the wheel enriching the person at the top who started the recruiting agency. Mainly just the person who started the LLC and decided to hire some people. That's literally the person that runs the recruiting agency. Speaking of LLCs, that literally just leads me to my next point. How easy is it to get started, right? So all you need is a $20 Wix website, a $10 business email through G Suite, a $5 logo on Fiverr, and basically an LLC in your state for 200 bucks maybe, and you're pretty much in business. All right, so let's talk for a second about mindset. So a lot of people, in fact, actually most people have some form of what's called imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it basically is this concept that you think you're not qualified enough to be doing something you're doing, or you're not good enough to be doing what you're doing, or maybe you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Now, I can all but guarantee you that this is the one thing that ends up tripping up people from CEOs to professional athletes to people with amazing ideas or incredible skill sets from actually accomplishing their goals, simply because imposter syndrome is wired into us. It basically means that we constantly think about what other people around us think about what we're doing. So we're consistently thinking about what that person thinks of what I'm doing, what this person thinks of what I'm doing. It's basically fear of judgment. I can also all but guarantee you that if you can overcome this fear or this imposter syndrome that comes about when you start something big, that you can pretty much accomplish anything that you want. Considering that imposter syndrome is all in your head entirely, if you can overcome this, you can basically do anything. Now, getting down to the specifics about scaling and setting up your own recruiting agency that can go to six figures and beyond, it's really not that difficult. Most of the fear and anxiety or hesitation all is in your head. It's in the form of imposter syndrome, and if you can get past that, once again, you're going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to be fine. It's just a step-by-step process, adding things piece by piece, taking small steps one by one, and I'm going to go into that here just in a second. All right, so once you get your online presence set up, like website, email, LinkedIn, and all of that jazz, and that's simple, that's baby steps. Once that's all set up, everything is really about getting clients, okay? So you don't actually learn how to build a business by learning how to build a business, like reading a book on it or something. You learn how to build a business by building a business. You actually have to do it. So getting a client is instrumental to your success in actually moving forward and setting up your own recruiting agency. Because if you don't have a client, you absolutely don't have anything. You have no business whatsoever. You have nothing going on. No one's paying you. Nothing is moving. So you have to start getting clients, which means beginning to reach out to clients and getting that step going. So we'll talk about that next. On a side note, when you do start reaching out to clients, you're going to want to reach out to the most generic general labor clients you can find. So when I started my recruiting agency, these were basically warehouse workers, administrative assistants, receptionists, or van drivers, transportation, whatever is in those type of niches. Easy peasy roles to fill, things that pretty much anybody can do. These are the jobs that you want to go after. Hence, these are the clients that you want to go after. All right, so when you start your client outreach, this is going to be cold email or cold call. I definitely recommend cold email, since cold call is pretty much a learned skill. You're going to have to do that over a long period of time to get really, really good at cold calling people. But cold email is super easy, and I've made it super easy for you. So I have a page called The Six Figure Recruiter. Again, The Six Figure Recruiter. If you go to that Facebook page, like the page, please. That's all I ask in return. And send me a message on my Facebook page and give me your email. And I will email you both templates for cold emails that have everything in them that you'll need. And I'll also email you contracts, example contracts that you can use once you get one of your clients on the hook. So go ahead over to The Six Figure Recruiter, like the page, and message me your email. I'll get you those documents. That's pretty much only what you're going to need document-wise going forward, starting up your agency. I started finding people's emails on their websites or finding them on LinkedIn or using tools like Swordfish or Lucia, which are Google Chrome extensions that you can use on LinkedIn, or I just direct message people on LinkedIn. But when I started doing all this stuff, this is where I got imposter syndrome. Luckily, I had read about it, known about it beforehand, so I absolutely squashed it right away. So it wasn't an issue for me. But this is generally where imposter syndrome starts to set in, because you're actually interacting with potential clients. You're wondering what they're thinking about your cold email. You're scared about their reaction, all of these types of things. But you have to remember all of that is in your head. Squash it right away. Keep going. Remember that you're entirely capable of doing this and being successful at it. All right, so once you get a client, this is your first huge win, and you should definitely celebrate it big time. Once a client has agreed to do staffing with you, this is a big win. Next step is signing a contract with them. So again, you're going to use the contracts that you will find at The Six Figure Recruiter Facebook page, link in description. Again, I'll send you the example contracts and basically send it over to them, either in a PDF or by DocuSign, and put it in DocuSign and have them DigiSign it. Do it however you want to do it, but get them to sign that agreement. Obviously edit it, put your own logo, put your own name on it, all that stuff, but get them to sign that contract. And then once you do, you're off to the races for searching for candidates. All right, so once you've actually gotten the signed contract with your client, and only once you've gotten that signed contract, you do not do anything before getting a signed contract, but once you've gotten that, then you begin your search. Now, the easiest way for a startup recruiting agency to search for candidates and get them right away for easy roles is to post job ads. Now, you do this on Indeed.com or Craigslist. Those are the easiest places to do it. They're very user-friendly. You set an ad budget, spend somewhere between $30 and $60 on advertisements, write up a good job description, a good job ad based on their job description, and then wait and wait and wait for the emails to come in for applicants, for candidates that are applying for the job. Now, the next part is pretty much fun and easy. You simply phone screen and interview the candidates that have applied to your job ads. Now, how do you phone screen and interview someone? It's really, really simple. Basically, you take the job description that your client has given you and you ask the candidate questions based off of the job description. Formulate some questions, be creative. I've done videos on this. You can look at my channel about how to interview candidates, but all in all, it's really, really simple. Once you find out all the candidates that have applied, try to interview every single one of them, because one, this is going to give you a really good interview experience, and two, you're going to get more and more potential placements for this client. And then once you've figured out the best of the best, you then send those over in resume format to your client and have them review them to see which ones that they want to move forward with. So after this, it's going to be really, really simple. You pretty much just ask them flat out, how do you want to proceed once you've chosen certain candidates? Do you want to phone screen them yourself? Do you want me to set up in-person interviews for you? You know, every client will be different. So they'll tell you exactly what they want you to do. Usually it's something along the lines of they'll want you to interview them on the phone. Then they'll want you to basically send them over. They'll verify that they do want to interview them in person. Then they'll basically have you act as a secretary and set up those in-person interviews by coordinating schedules and basically playing secretary and setting up interviews for them. So at that point, you'll basically connect back with the candidates and say, so-and-so would like to interview on so-and-so date, blah, 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 and set up the interviews. At the end of the day, your client is either going to pick one, maybe two of your candidates that you've chosen to actually hire them, or they'll pick none of them to hire them. And this is completely normal. You should know that this is totally part of the process, happens all the time. If this does happen, you simply go back to the drawing board and redo the process. Put more job ads up, find more candidates, and you're just as likely to find a really good candidate by doing it a second time around rather than the first, because you know the job even better and you can ask better questions, and it's just rinse and repeat at this point. So if your client does choose one of your candidates that you've moved over to them, you need to find out two very important pieces of information. One, when your client wants that candidate to start, their actual start date, and two, what they're going to get paid, either hourly or what their annual pay will be in total. These are going to be really, really important because this is going to tell you when you're going to send your invoice and for exactly how much you will be sending an invoice over. Basically, if your client chooses to hire someone that you've sent over, you've just fully closed the loop on a cycle of your first deal. This is very big. This is something to celebrate. You've hired someone. You've closed a deal. All right, guys, so let's get back to high level now. So this is the exact model that I used to make my first $100,000 in the first 6 months of launching my recruiting agency. Now, the point I'm trying to get across is that anyone, if they apply themselves and if they do it the right way, can accomplish this. Now, I'm not saying everyone is going to be successful. I'm saying everyone can be successful. And you need to apply yourself and use the right model to do this. And that's what I'm trying to basically get across in this video. I'm not a natural born recruiter. I don't have anything special about me. There's no secret sauce that I used. I made $100,000 in 6 months. I have fully applied myself. I use this exact model, and I'm a firm believer in that anybody can do this if they follow the right model and if they actually truly believe in themselves. Guys, if this video was helpful for you in any way at all, please smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, definitely smash the subscribe button as well as the alert button so you know every time I come out with a video, which is pretty much every single day. I will definitely be catching you guys on Monday. I hope you're having an awesome Sunday. I will catch you tomorrow. And until then,